Good afternoon, everyone. In the today's class of mechatronics, we would like to deal with respect to the different circuit operations and what are the different kinds of power losses that are being considered in the case of this hydraulic circuit actuation positions. Nominally, we have been discussed that different hydraulic circuits designs, which is imparting a particular pressure in the fluid which leads to actuate the cylinders and the additional pressure decrement purpose or maintaining the safe mode of operating conditions in the circuit systems utilizing the pressure relief valves, different kinds of pressure relief valves, and nominally we will be calling it as the safety valves. In this regard, in the transformation of these pressurized fluids through different media, that the sequence valves plays a major role as that safety valves, and the directional control valves directs its forward action of the actuator, simultaneously the counter motion, that is the reverse position or reverse motion or retraction motion of the actuators, and industrial sectors also even. And at different conditions of this fluid passage, while its directional changes or at different bends, if there is any bend that is taking place, the direction of fluid flow will be taking place, and even the movement of a fluid from a higher diameter towards the lower diameter leads to impart much more pressure increment in the flow of these fluids. And the another criteria, that is movement of the fluid, pressurized fluid from small diametric to the large diametric regions. And upon these activities, the hydraulic pressure losses will be getting occurred that leads to the formation of the heat, that is nothing but incrementing of the temperature, leads to the energy loss that is added as the destruction action of high temperature and obligation to introduce the additional factor that is causing or necessary for the system to be in safe mode of operating conditions, that is nothing but cooling equipment. So cooling equipment is necessary for decreasing or maintaining the temperature for feasible maintenance conditions, up to the feasible maintenance conditions. Hence, in what are the components that are existing in the systems, and in which components heavily the power losses will be taking place, and nominally we are releasing the pressures to some extent, and indeed of ideally releasing that pressurized fluids, transferring that fluids to second equipment indeed to operate in normal conditional conditions. We have a detailed look in the previous class. So if the section of the hydraulic system has been considered, the losses occurred in the pumps, distribution and control systems, pipes, and hydraulic motors. If these are the components that have been taken, the losses in pumps are determined as by the internal losses and mechanical friction, and the total efficiency, which represents the energy efficiency, will be determined as the product of volumetric efficiency and mechanical efficiency. So this is nothing but mechanical efficiency is clearly specifying that transferring the fluid by imparting the pressure. Hence the fluid, we all aware of that fluid is incompressible. Hence imparting the pressure for that fluid and driving that fluid to a particular destination from the source point with the help of this PCBs. And for the controlled strategy, there is an different kinds of joints that are being occurring for lengthiest transformation. Nominally, we will be arranging different kinds of pipes, which is attached by its flanges with respect to a gasket. Normally, at that particular joints, we'll be finding some of the leakages happening due to the failures of those gaskets, or else some of the obstructions that are being done while fitting sections, or else the fitting may be getting loosened upon frequent conditions, frequent transferring conditions. It leads to an product of volumetric efficiency and the mechanical efficiency. So coming to the point of this mechanical efficiency, transferring of imparted pressure to a particular destination for the commencement of task as per the desired specifications will be considering in the case of this mechanical efficiency, that too here in the hydraulic systems. Whereas this volumetric efficiency has been considered if the losses has been taken, losses in the sense nothing but the leakage of the pressurized fluids. Hence, if we are pumping the 1 kg of a fluid within pressurized conditions, indeed to commence a certain task, if any power losses has been done, so here power losses in the sense we are all aware of that the fluid will be getting drained in between at different joints. So completely the 1 kg of volumetric efficiency will not be let into the action scenario, nothing but at the preference of the actuators. Hence, the actuator will leads to a gap of doing the final task, and there will be a gap of performing the final task. So it leads to a limitation of the actuator for its end movement or end work to be done. Technologically, with the increasing in strategy, it leads to other different levels of pumps manufacture, which improve the materials and increasing in the tribological performances made the volumetric efficiency determined primarily by side clearances. And coming to the point of this mechanical efficiency, by the friction, both the values over 90%, and that in the end of the total efficiency it will be so far also 90%. So here, as for the mechanical efficiency has been considered, due to the friction losses also, nothing but nominally fluid is having some of the viscosity. So we all aware that viscosity, a slope that is being acting on a particular material tends to move in appropriate directions. Hence, due to the viscosity of the fluid, even though the pressure has been imparted, the fluid molecules will be get stick towards the internal walls of the pipes. At the different connectors, that is nothing but flange connectors between one pipe to another pipe, and even for the different components which are existing in between the two different pipes, that is flanges, couplings, gaskets, nuts, bolts, different studs, internal threadings, and passages for nuts and bolts, etc. These holes or the fluid will be getting stick on to it with respect to its viscosity property, and hence some of the percentage of a fluid will be getting ideally existing to the walls of the internal walls of the tubes or pipes. Hence, we are considering that among the 100% of the fluid that is being driving from the source place, due to this bendings occurring, creates the directional changes for the fluid flow, and due to this viscosity effect, the occurrence of the friction losses upon cumulative, considering the 90 percentage of the fluid or the pressure or power that is being created will be delivering to such points, nothing but the destination points. Coming to the losses, in the case of distribution and control section, these are the local losses which are either determined either by construction of the equipment or working methodology of the system. And furtherly, losses occurring in the components, those also components such as we have been discussed, that flanges, couplings, and studs and nuts which are being utilized for fitting section, and gaskets, different types of gaskets which has been utilized. This and all are the local losses which reduces the improving forms of the flow. And even the technological losses on flow control valves and regulators, nothing but pressure regulators which are using for incrementing of the pressure and decrementing of the pressure, and different control valves which utilizes to control the flow of the fluid to be moved in different directions. This also can be minimized to a proper channel of whole system, and especially through the use of adjustable pumps with a high level of automation technology, as we have been discussed yesterday. Automation working of these hydraulic circuits, nothing but without any involvement of the human beings, for the similar actions to be considered. Hence, the programming will be given, that programming will be getting stored, and commonly when you have been switched on by the solenoid power supply, nothing but the electrical power supply, it energizes the directional control valves, and the directional control valves will be acquired the pressure or the signals from the hydraulic constraints or hydraulic considerations which are occurring from the oil reservoir. And hence this automation creates the forward stroke and return stroke of the actuators, either in a linear movement or else in a rotary actions can be performed. Obviously, with the help of these feedback devices, nothing but the limit switches, as they have been seen with respect to limit switches. When the switch has been activated simultaneously, it will be indicating that the extension stroke has been completed. Simultaneously, if it has been contracted, the pilot valve will be in operating condition, and hence it gives the feedback signal to the controller that it has reached the source point once again, that is, retraction stroke has been completed. So it leads towards the automation in nature. So these power losses will be getting decreased to some extent, but not much morely. To some extent, in the case of this automation, instead of providing manually towards the power generation, that switching on and lever to be turned up and it need to be activated manually, vice versa, will leads to more, much more losses creations. Coming to this point of hydraulic system, this could lead to an greatest reductions in the energy losses with current equipments and implementing of these technologies. In fact, most important things is to devise a system by which the discharges to the tank with a safety valve to be minimized. So the safety valve has been exactly as we have discussed in the yesterday's class also. That is nothing but the utilizing the motor to impart the pressure in the fluid which is being pumped for the actuators which will be moving with different hose pipes as per directed as it has been directed by the directional control valves. So if the generated power from the pump has been released for the safe operation of the system by these pressure relief valves, immediately it is being discharging that leads to an mismatchable or the indemnity of this fluids or indemnity of or losses creates and major losses in the case of economical factor and even the time factors also even. So indeed of this decreasing strategy of power losses, the automation plays a major important role. Nothing but the implementing of this particular technology. Hence, losses on these pipelines and auxiliary components generally quite high or comprised of linear losses and the losses on auxiliary equipment such as filters, accumulators, and coolers. Generally, these are the auxiliary components treated as an local losses that is involving with respect to small changes in the efficiency levels at the outer come, and even these can be bypassed also because we will not be utilizing these components permanently within the equipment. But as far as the major losses has been considered, that is nothing but linear losses occurring while the pipelines in the pipelines and heavy working places which much which the working is much necessary, then generally very much quite efficient in strategy and choosing of the optimum route maps that reduces to the minimum level, nothing but instead of creating a long route maps which have the involvement of different directional changes in the pipes, nothing but having different kinds of bends which causes the directional changes in the pipes or fluid in the pipes. Even that will lead to a maximal pressure drops, and hence if you have been reduced that particular route maps and concise it towards this optimum range, then these will reduce these major losses will reduce it to a minimum in cadre. And another one more major loss is the hydraulic motors. The energy losses occurring in the case of these hydraulic motors. With the rotary motors, which are similar to an energy losses in the pumps, which creates in the case of the counts nothing but the tribological element and less the technological element. It produces a normal prices, slight clearances, can reduce the internal flow losses also. Hence, the hydraulic cylinders with the component materials and structure will reduce the major losses. Hence, this clearly specifies, as we have been discussed now, that the route maps, optimum route maps need to be allocated without any much more curvilinear positions or else directional changes or bends that are being taking place for the traveling of this fluid from source position to the destination. Nothing but the cylinder piston arrangement. And next, another one more criteria it is in the cylinders and pistons, piston arrangement. So in the case of the cylinders which are using today in the hydraulic systems, we find the major friction losses between the rod and the rod cap seal, which is internally aligned with respect to the or in between the piston and the cylinder body. So it will be getting coupled, which the cylinder is attached in mechanical equipment, and internally the piston and its piston rod seal will be getting aligned with that for its actions towards the to and fro motion. So it is a much important and even very much attractive or compulsion problems that are being caused that if a poor grip on that particular machine is taking place because of the high radial forces are introduced, which will induce the high friction and therefore high power losses also. So this is one of the case in the case of this cylinder and piston arrangement and the internal walls of this particular cylinder and piston and nothing but the actuators, simply the actuators. Next, moving on with respect to an switching type of digital hydraulics, which gives us or results us in the form of a solution that great interest will be providing for us very much closely towards the proximity between the available flow rate and the required flow rate, which gives and which interacts with respect to the desired section towards the obtaining section, and the phase of work will be getting done and greatly reduces the number of hydraulic equipments for distribution and control. And coming to another one more advantage is that reducing the number of pipelines, hence the linear losses will be decreasing. And with this criteria decrementing in a channel of framing and assembling of the hydraulic circuit design parameters, it leads to a formation of two different circuits, that meter inflow circuits and meter outflow circuits. So here the technical terms meter in and meter out flow control circuits plays a major important role in our present days class. So here meter in and meter out, right? We are able to see only the meter in, and even meter out also existing here itself. Coming to the point of this meter in and out, here the circuit which is displaying in the screen clearly defines the meter in and meter out circuits. So meter in here in the sense metering. So the technical word or in the mechanical engineering, that metering in the sense that the quantity that is being measuring, the quantity that is being measuring is called metering. So metering in or meter in and meter out. Here we are having two different technical terms. So meter in. So when the fluid in our hydraulic circuit is being entering, when the first position of this DCV is connected, the fluid will be getting entered here, and obviously entering in the first DCV first position creates the extension stroke of the cylinder and piston arrangement. And if nominally the third position, second position is an ideal position, and if third position came into the force, nominally the fluid will be getting entered in the rod side direction, that is port number 2, which creates the retraction stroke. So here the common terminology, just as if now we have been discussed the previous in the previous plans also we have been seen in the same operational scenario. The DCV has been operated, but the type of operations has been different when you have been seen in the previous class. But the meter in the sense the amount of fluid that is required for complete extension of the cylinder and piston arrangement upon loading conditions and upon unloading conditions, or else unloaded at the extended side and again reloaded back towards the contracted side, which is also in the retraction stroke metering out. While the fluid is being retracting, the amount of fluid that is required for its retraction also even measured. That is called the meter out control circuits. So the meter in and out controls are in rest position. So why we will calling as in this is in rest position? Because there is no any position in the directional control valve is connected for this operation. If this position 1, position 2, position 3, which is solenoid connections of operation, this is spring return at both the ends. If the power is supplied here, and hence compression will be taking place in this, and first position will be coming into the actuation. And if power has been stopped, the compression tension creates its extension position, and this personal position, that is null position, will be coming into the force. And simultaneously in the B1, this is A1 solenoid, B1 solenoid. B1 solenoid has been given the power. The compression will be taking place in this spring, and this position will be coming into the force, which causes the return stroke. And when the power has been switched off here, the switch already, this is in compressed ratio, will be tends to move in its original direction. So original action, nothing but this null position will be coming into the force. Null position or rest position. So rest position here in the sense there is no any actions that are being performing either in the forward stroke or else in the return stroke. There is no any actions that are being performing. And nominally the pressure head and the overall equipment that are being utilized for causing the pressure conditions or nothing but this oil reservoir and is being filtering, and the motor utilized for pumping the fluid, and certain pressure is being maintaining, and that is being traveling or sending towards the actuation or this circuit, towards the input circuit. Corresponding output need to be done. So here meter in specifies that the fluid to be measured in the forward direction. So here having a clear cut vision that the first position came into the force cylinder extension. So in the extending timings, at the time of this extending, so we'll be having a clear cut look here. First position came into the force and maintaining with respect to the 1000 psi value, something but then 3 bar of pressure, which is being entering here, and fluid will be starting flowing. And here if there is an obstruction because of the check valve placed in here, because of the check valve that has been opposing the forward flow. Hence, the impact pressure will be flowing through this throttle valve. And here the throttle valve measures the how much of a fluid that is being entering within the cylinder that shows with respect to an yellow color design. And the fluid that is being letting out from the other side. That is also here measured. So 1000 psi, nothing but here 100 psi. Nominally will be considering as an 5 bar of pressure is being entering, and nominally the pressure that is being existing will be getting let out commonly and drained towards the output channel. So that is the actions that are being considered in the case of this forward conditions. And yet this criteria, at this point of criteria, we will be finding out the amount of fluid that is being utilized for the complete extension stroke and at what pressure the fluid need to be delivered for the complete extension when the system is in loading conditions. Loading condition, because the already loaded condition in the sense the material that need to be transferred from the source place to the destination position. So at this point of view, how much fluid or how much pressurized the conditions that are to be maintained in the loaded condition, and what is the time factor that is being taking place, the volume of the fluid, how much volume of the fluid that is being utilized in the pressurized conditions need to be transfer the material or the complete extension stroke is monitored. So that is nothing but the meter in circuit, the fluid, the amount of fluid or the volumetric, uh, the volume of the fluid that has been utilized for driving the loaded condition of the actuator to be in a particular motion that causes the safe mode of operations in the circuits for the commencement of its forward actions. So that is the meter in condition. Simultaneously, meter out conditions. So hence there is a simple point. There is a common circuit which has been utilized for the pneumatic conditions also. But instead of this entire here we have been utilized this oil reservoir, motor, etc. So these section will not be existing here, and only the compressor will be utilized. There is an either gaseous medium, different types of gases, or else the normal atmospheric air will be utilized. So here, and compressor will be replaced in the case of this pneumatic system, and the air will be supplied. And here there is no any trapping of the fluid necessary, because the normal atmospheric air at a different pressure will be released directly to the atmosphere. So there is only the change that is being occurring, and hence at that particular setting also you will be measuring that how much pressure is to be maintained within the air, how much molecules of the air is being necessary, how much gaseous medium, nothing but different. We have been utilized different gases for different types of gases that are being required for utilization of transferring for the complete extension of this piston and arrangement, cylinder and piston arrangement in the loading condition, or else the actuator will be saying actuator for our convenience. If you've been looked in the case of this retraction position, in retracting position, or else the meter out in retracting. meter in control or running, load with respect to cylinder extending we have been seen, and extending also or retracting also will be conditional. So because the load is connected at the outer end of the rod, and this load has to be lifted back to the piston end side. So this is a rod end side, piston end side. So load here now it need to be already in the completed load has been carried from the piston end to rod end, and here delivered, and another load has been again loaded, and this load need to be shifted to the piston end side. So at this condition, the return strokes to be maintained. So nominally here the first position is commonly utilized, but in the DCV this third position need to be highlighted. So the third position will be highlighted. So in the extension state, completely extended condition will be having a detailed look once again. The pump will drive the fluid by imparting the pressure from the oil reservoir. That oil will be getting moved over here, and here we are having the sequence valve conditions. The check valve opposes the flow of the fluid, and hence throttling valve will be getting released. And after the red color, it is a pressurized fluid. Red color indicates the pressurized fluid. And hence, if the throttle valve has been loosened, then it creates a passage of a flow of fluid with an high pressure constraints, and that pressure will be getting entered, and the load will be getting moved towards this direction. If the similar load to be moved in an from the rod into the piston end, this third position need to be taken place. So at this particular criteria, the same fluid will be entering towards this and will be moving to here. And here there is an obstruction occurring here. In the extension stroke in the sense, commonly it will be moving because it will be an open channel. But here it is check valve opposes, and hence the fluid need to be entered in the written stroke here. And next, this has to be flown. The already entered fluid will be getting retracted back, and hence this will be in closed condition. And hence here the open conditions will be taking place like this. The open conditions will be occurring here, and the fluid will be drained back. And at this particular situation, this is the position occurring, and at this position will be leaving towards the oil reservoir or tank to again. So at this particular channel also, indeed to carry the same load and the retraction braces, the amount of fluid that has been utilized, the volume of the fluid that has been utilized for its action to be done, and measuring of that particular volume of a fluid necessary for driving the load piston and cylinder arrangement. Remember, the movement of this piston in the retraction stroke is come from the complete extension stage to the retraction stage. Rod into the piston end range is monitored. So that is called meter out circuit. So at the meter out circuit, this third position in the directional control valve will be coming into the force, and fluid will be entering in the rod side, and the weight will be getting lifted towards the condition. At that particular situation, the entry of the fluid will be taking place in such a way, and here the check valve opposes the pressure of the fluid which is entering, and that fluid will be throttled here. So up to here the red color indication will be coming in the retraction stroke, and next it is being entering, and then green signal will be here, and the blue color will be in here, this signal, vice versa, than the extension position to the retraction position. So yes, causes the movement of or releasing of the already entered fluid back from this direction, and hence here this check valve will be acting as an open channel, and throttle valve, if it has been released, the same pressure will be getting entered here, and this position will be occurring and releasing towards the source position, that is about the oil reservoir. And the main function here it is directional control valves shifting and entry of depending upon the shifting, The entry of the fluid from rod end or else from the piston end. That is a major section. And the cylinder adjustments in the case of this, nothing but the throttling adjustments in the case of this meter in conditions and meter out conditions. And continuously the pump need to be supplied its pressure imparting and pumping the fluid for its activity, nothing but actuator movement. And this creates the null characterizations of the voids occurring. So voids in the sense the air bubblers that are being taking place within the fluid when it is being pumped. Generally, we will be looking that if you have been kept a bucket under the tap and released that particular water when it has been got in the bucket, automatically it will leads to an air bubblers. When it has been exposed to the open conditions, it will be getting released by blasting. It will be releasing towards the gas existing in its releases towards the atmosphere. But in the closed conditions, but hydraulic system in the sun, the pipes will be connected, interlinked with each other within different components such as studs, nuts, bolts, flanges, connections, gaskets in different components, and internal walls of the piston and the cylinder arrangement. If the gaseous medium has been entered, it is very much hazardous, nothing but causing of the air bubblers internally. So those are called as voids, the air gaps between the liquid molecules as nothing but the voids. So it creates the vacuum in the fluid. Hence, the pump continuously supply the metered fluid in, and cap end of the cylinder will eventually fill that vacuum voids also. After the vacuum void fills, the cylinder can produce a full force, or else the lapsing of or blasting of that particular balls with respect to or the imparted internal forces that leads to an damage for or interruptions for its movement, which leads to pop sounds like that. So hence meter in and meter out cases are very much essential and need to measure the fluid flow or else the amount of fluid that is being and utilized for complete extension of the actuator in the loaded condition and even in the complete uh, retraction condition in the loaded condition. So hence meter in and meter flow out circuits are as shown in the diagrammatical basis. And these are very much important in our subject point of view. And nominally in each and every year, either in the case of this hydraulic or pneumatic, there will be a gunshot question, compulsory question, gunshot question in the case of this final examinations. So meter in, describe or explain the meter in circuit when in the loaded condition, or else in the case of hydraulic scenario, they will be asking like that, or else label the diagram of the meter out circuit which is operated in pneumatic conditions, they will be asking. So pneumatic conditions in the sense we are aware of that. Here there should not be involving any motors, oil tank, etc. Only the compressor will be existing, FRL unit will be existing, filtration, regulation and lubrication channel. So that we'll be discussing in detail with respect to the circuit diagrams in the next class. Thank you. We'll be moving on with respect to the pneumatic meter in and meter out circuits in the next class. Thank you.